Vincent Van Gogh, people told him, you can't be a great painter, you only have one ear. You know what he said? I can't hear you.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Philly sports talk morning show with Chris, KJ, and Dalt. Proudly powered by 302 Birds. Let's take it to the show.
Good morning and happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of Sip and Sports. As always, when we're pre-recording, we give you guys that pre-recording disclosure. We are recording this episode Friday night, 6:45. So before the Sixers, before some other things, just want to give that heads up. If anything crazy or monumental happens, that's why we're not talking about it Saturday morning. But no KJ this week. He's not here. Chris, though, and I have a ton to break down for you guys. I mean, after last night, both of us, well, me only for half of it, but both of us attending the Eagles-Commanders game. And boy, when I left, did they turn it on, right, Chris?
They did, and big thank you to TickPick and Dalton for, last minute inviting me to the game. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. I was really enjoying it. Like, after Dalton left, I hate to say it, but after Dalton left, it was fucking amazing. Saquon Barkley decided to be the best running back in football and just put his dick down the Commanders' throats. And, Ed Reed Blankenship over there. I'm telling you, Dennis is starting to shake in his boots a little bit over there. I think he's starting to get scared that,
I wonder if he does it on purpose and if Reed ever listens. Like if the two are correlated.
I wonder if Blankenship at some point is just going to flip off Dennis and tell you, fuck you. I am an all-pro safety, and he's showing it this year.
Like he does like that T-shirt that Kittle did where it says Dallas
sucks. Yeah, it's going to say, fuck you, Dennis.
I like that idea a lot. Maybe that's a meme we need to make, Chris. We might have to bring that to life.
But yeah, I mean, if it weren't for a couple missed field goals and a missed extra point, that game was a blowout last night. Like, they really defensively just absolutely dominated. They made Jaden Daniels, who's a Rookie of the Year candidate, probably is the Rookie of the Year right now, just look like a complete bomb. I mean, it was just dominant performance. Playing aggressive defense, making tackles when it's needed. Quintanamo Bay over there is just, it's insane to see a rookie play this well. I mean, he's the best corner we've had in 20 years, and he's a rookie. He is that good already. I mean, the interceptions aren't there yet, but they're not even throwing his way. It is insane. Just him and Cooper. And you got to give Slay his flowers, too, because he's been playing really well. I know I hate Slay, but Slay played.
Hey, there it is. See, guys, Chaos Chris does give credit when it's due.
I still hate him, but, he played well. And the whole defense, just Jalen Carter played every snap last night defensively as a defensive tackle. Brian Baldinger said he didn't know the last time it happened where a defensive tackle has done that.
That's insane.
I mean, because you think of defensive tackles. I mean, Jalen Carter's 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Playing every single snap is unheard of. So, and he was damn effective. Just, it's almost every play he's in the backfield. He just run stopping, pass rushing, everything. It's just incredible. I mean, he's
very much locked in, like you were saying.
Not only do the Eagles have talent on defense, they are really young on defense. And we're looking at, okay, Brandon Graham's not going to be here next year. Maybe he is. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. But, Slay is going to be gone soon. But you look at the rest of the defense, these guys are all like 26, 27 or younger. And it's just they're blossoming in the stars. I mean, Zach Bond, incredible. They picked him up out of nowhere from the Saints, and he's been incredible. So it's just you watch this team develop now, and defensively they might be the best defense in football right now. They've been that good over the last few weeks. Offensively, they got it done last night. It wasn't pretty. It was really cold, really windy. This is NFC East football towards the end of the season. I'd like to see Jalen play a little bit better in these cold weather games. Did he have a concussion last night? I think he did. Especially after seeing the post-game stuff was pretty interesting. But Saquon Barkley. There, that's all we could say every single week is Saquon Barkley. That's all you need to say. I mean, he's the best running back.
Don't worry, because when we get there too in a sec, I know we do have a whole topic that will recap the Commanders and then actually to break down that whole defense, like you were saying with Jalen Carter. I want to talk about that actually, because now you got my wheels turning with him being in that offense so much. If there's a correlation with him playing 100% of snaps and the Eagles being the number one ranked defense, with him having such of an impact 100% of the time when he's out there. But before we get into all that, let's go ahead and kick it to the Flyers. I'll let you go ahead and take this one first, Chris, but Philadelphia Flyers take down the Ottawa Senators last night, 5-4 in OT, and then tonight for the fans watching, take on the Buffalo Sabres. How you feeling about the team as a whole right now?
I mean, the team sucks. Like it is what it is. We know this, but it's just seeing Michkov play, seeing him develop is really special to see. He's got 13 points in 15 games. He's just really a good hockey player. Unfortunately, there's some people on the Flyers staff, John Tortorella, who does not think he is a good player and benches him, which I'm sorry, that should have been a fireable offense. This kid has been so good, and you're gonna bench him. That to me was one of the dumbest things I think I've ever seen. Imagine if Fangio comes out tomorrow and says, "Yeah, we're gonna bench Quinyon Mitchell next week because why not? He's not playing well, in our opinion." And it's like, what are you watching? Everybody else is saying this guy's the best rookie in the league, and you're gonna bench him. But that's all I really got to say on the Flyers. It's just they are who they are.
Yeah, they are who they are. We'll see who they are tonight against the Sabres. They got a home game. It's going to be interesting, I think, to see Wells Fargo rocking. We'll see how that kind of outlook is. Because I do think that there are a lot of Flyers fans out there like you, Chris, that are at this point of where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to spend my money on the Flyers, but I'm going to spend my money on Michkov. So they look at it kind of that way. And it's like, all right, I'm not expecting anything except for Michkov, hopefully to play well, maybe put up some points. And then if you have a result like last night, 5-4 OT win, well, hey, that's just the icing on the cake for the true Flyers fans. But Philadelphia needs a hockey team. Philadelphia needs like a playoff hockey team. This city would eat that shit up right now. They would embody it. It's been so long. Oh my God.
The fights in the
that's
tailgate.
What, May? Is that May, April time?
I think so. I think it's like just starting to get nice weather out. You got the Phillies are going to be across the street.
Yeah.
And the Flyers playing the same. Oh man, the fights are going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Well, that's the sad thing for us Flyers fans. And I feel like the Flyers are one of the more monumental teams in the NHL. They have a lot of respect. That's most way for Philly teams. I feel like most Philly teams, just because we have a rep, we're one of the best cities in America. No bias. I'd say we're at least in the top 5. Point being, I think that a lot of Flyers fans are just at this point where it's like, all right, Michkov, I think you could kind of take this next step with this team and give us as fans something that we've never seen before, which is playoff hockey, or at least we don't remember. When we were 12, we're not going to be pounding Bud Lights at the tailgate, hanging out or slugging, beers. It's not the same. And I don't mean it like I need alcohol to have a good time at the event. I mean it more as when you're older as well, I feel like you can kind of enjoy it more for your sports team. You're more aware of what's going on. You could go to the parade. You can really just like be in the moment. Like when the Eagles won that
You've
Super
been
Bowl in
through so much
2018,
more.
I had watched like everything all year, like 2018. I'd watched every game. I was invested. And even before that year, I mean, I had said it like every year, but I truly thought in my heart, like looking at the roster on paper, I was like, wow, this is like one of the best rosters the Eagles have. Like they have a real shot at the Super Bowl. And then they did. So when you're invested in a team and then they actually back it up, it's like the most satisfying feeling ever. I think you said it in the car yesterday, Chris. It was beautifully said. Your worst addiction and our worst addiction is Philly sports because they let us down so much.
Yeah. Like it's seriously like it messes with my mental health in general. Like, I mean, I was about to jump out of the fucking stadium when Goddard fumbled. I thought it was over. I saw the ball pop out. I'm like, oh my God, it's Quez Watkins all the fucking over again.
Yeah, here we
Because
go.
that was the last time I was in the link was when Quez Watkins fumbled and they lost to the Commanders. So it's just like the pain that I have gotten from being a Philly sports fan. And our generation has gotten it pretty good because we've seen 2 titles. Like my dad, I think he didn't see a title for like 30 years or something crazy like that. So it's not as bad for us, but it really is a sick addiction. And it's terrible for my mental health, but I can't break it, and I'm not going to try to break it.
Yeah, it's a part of us. It's something that you're born into. And that's probably why on this next topic, Chris and I, sometimes with siblings or family members, you just get sick of something. You get sick of the same habits, the same tendencies, and the same old shit time and time again. See that, Mac? Even when you're not here, I'll still be the passionate one to talk about the fucking Sixers for you. But when I was designing this lower third, that I was looking in the memes and I was like, oh, this one's perfect. There's a clown looking in a mirror. That is exactly how I feel as a Sixers fan. I mean, their record right now, are they 2-8? Is it, Chris?
I don't even.
As we're recording this, here I'm looking it up. 2-9. I'm sorry, 2-9, guys. So a .182 win percentage, aka a point sucks fucking ass win percentage, and I honestly thought that Nick Nurse would be the savior of this team. And I got to give Nick Nurse credit where credit's due. Nick Nurse has done a lot with this team. I feel like Nick Nurse is pretty much doing everything that he can. But when you have a roster full of a lot of egos, is the way I'll put it, and then you have a front office with a lot of egos that's also dysfunctional, and an organization that's dysfunctional, it's just like dumpster fire, dumpster fire, dumpster fire, dumpster fire. And they're all in the same building. So no wonder the Flyers have so many fucking issues. The Sixers probably just spread to them at some point. But the Sixers are really the laughing stock of the Philadelphia sports team. Sorry, what were you saying?
Hopefully they get that new stadium and get that bad juju the fuck out of the Flyers arena.
I mean, hey, if that's what happens, I'm down with it because there's something definitely wrong with the Sixers. I mean, how are you feeling about all of it?
I mean, it was funny leaving the game last night in the parking lot, and there was a bunch of "fuck Josh Harris" chants, and just like everybody ragging on the Commanders fans for having Josh Harris as their owner because he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit at all. He's got 3 teams. They're all rival cities. He's a joke of an owner, and all he cares about is money. That's the reason they're moving the Sixers. Is because they want money. It's all about the money. That's what people don't get. They're like, oh, why would the Sixers not just agree with another lease on the Flyers? Because they want their own shit so they can sell it. I think they are going to sell it after they get the arena, which can't come soon enough at this point if they're going to sell. They're just a joke. I mean, you signed a 50-year-old Paul George. I bashed it when they signed him. He's hurt already, or he's day to day, whatever it is. He doesn't play back to backs because he's a pussy, just like Joel Embiid. You got Maxey. He's hurt now too. It's really like there's nothing to watch this team for, yet they're going to have the rookie of the year in Jared McCain, who they somehow stole out of nowhere, and he's amazing. Like, it's annoying. This team is so damn annoying. It really is, because you put this team together. You have the rookie of the year right now, Tyrese Maxey, the MVP in Joel Embiid, and Paul George. Like, this should be a championship team, and they suck. Like, they're garbage. God awful, not even competitive. This team's probably going to get eliminated from the playoffs in the middle of February, and it's going to be hilarious.
It just feels like the Sixers almost have, and I almost feel bad for Maxey, because I don't think that Tyrese wanted, obviously. Like, there's some players that Embiid and George don't want to play basketball, right? That's evident. Like, if you wanted to be out there, you would figure it out. I don't think that Maxey dealing with that hamstring injury or whatever it is, I don't think that it's the same way. You know what I mean? I think that Maxey wants to be out there. I think that Maxey can sense kind of like this tenseness throughout the organization with the Sixers right now. Like, somebody said it on some kind of a show I was listening to. I think it was ESPN. It might have been Kelsey. When you look around in that locker room and you see all these guys and you realize that some of these guys aren't going to be there next year, it makes you uneasy. You don't know if you're going to be there next year. So obviously Tyrese Maxey knows that he's probably the safest dude out of everybody in that building because he's the youngest with the most potential. But I feel like for Tyrese Maxey, he's also like, he's a people pleaser. He's a people person. He's a people's player. He's a team player. And I just think that he kind of wants to make peace in the organization right now, or do whatever he can to make it like trend in a better upward way. So him being on the court is only going to help, is where I'm going at with that. And he wants to be out there. So I don't really blame Tyrese for any of this. I did see some fans being like, wow, like nobody out there wants to play for the Sixers. It's like, no, don't say that. It's Embiid and George, and we're trying to figure it out. If the Sixers do magically end up winning an NBA title this year, we're going to look back on this moment and all this shit and just laugh. But I really think that the odds of it are just slim to none, because in any sport that we've seen, old momentum is definitely a thing. And speaking of momentum, that's a Red Bull. Speaking of our next topic and momentum, 6 games straight, Philadelphia Eagles advancing to an impressive 8-2 with a Commanders recap. So Eagles take down the Commanders. Should have been 33-18, was 26-18, because Jake Elliott uncharacteristically missed not 1, not 2, but 3, my friends, field goals. The first one, Chris and I, when we were sitting in there, we're like, sweet, he made it. It looked like he made it from the angle we were at. And apparently then we saw the angles back, and we're like, oh my God. I don't know. I did say to my dad today, because we were talking about it, he's like, what do you think happened that first half? When it's the first game of the year that it's cold, and I mean like brick titty. I said this on the post-game show last night, as some people say, brick titty, those out there that know. When it's cold like that, that ball gets harder. Kickers, receivers, and quarterbacks, I think, are going to be the ones that adjust the most from it. And running backs and linebackers are probably going to be the ones that feel it the most, because that's when the game becomes the most physical. It's colder. It's going to hurt more. The turf, the asphalt, whatever it is, or not asphalt, I'm sorry. Turf, asphalt, it's kind of the same thing in some of these stadiums. But the turf, the grass, it gets harder. It's just not the same game. So I think first game of the year, everybody was adjusting to it. But missing 3 field goals is extremely unacceptable. Uncharacteristic of Jake. I saw Jake also go out there. I think it was right before halftime. I think it was like 2 minutes left, and he was just sizing up the field goal post, kind of like doing something like this, checking it out. And it's like, okay, like, what are you doing here? And I don't know. We did see Brandon Mann doing kickoff practice, but he was also doing some motions that look like field goals to me. He was going for the field goal post. So I don't know if Jake Elliott is Nick Sirianni. We know after last week giving up Jalen Hurts injury accidentally, he doesn't like to show his cards with injury. So I'm kind of wondering if there's something going on with Jake. But I mean, what was your thoughts on the whole Jake situation?
Well, I mean, when we were watching warm-ups, I mean, those kickers weren't making anything.
Mm-mm.
So I think a lot of it was like they're kicking long field goals into the wind, and it wasn't really the right time to kick. Now the extra point, there's no excuse for that. You should have made the extra point, but 50 plus in that wind, it was swirling really bad. Jake Elliott should be used to that, though. He's been here for 6 years now, so he should like learn what this stadium does. But it was really weird just seeing him not really warm up that much. And I'm used to him like warming up a lot when he's out there. Like he's always kicking. So I don't know why his routine is different now. Is he hurt? Maybe. That could be something. It also makes you wonder, is that why they've been going for so many fourth downs this year? Is it because Jake Elliott's lost it? They can't get rid of that contract? I'm not sure. Like it's a really weird things, because we've been so used to having a kicker now for 6 years who makes damn near everything. I mean, he kicks 60-yarders with ease, and he struggled big time yesterday. And that's really that was a difference in this game. I don't know if you can do that against a lot of teams. I mean, they got lucky yesterday that didn't really come back to bite them. But you go play the Chiefs, the Lions, these top tier teams. You take 7 points off the board, you're probably going to lose the football game.
Yeah. Lesson hopefully learned for the Eagles. I will say second half, really the last 3 drives, they really locked in as a team and as a unit. That was great to see because the Commanders are a good team. Don't get me wrong. But the level of the Eagles are a good team too, but the Eagles are a great team is my point. The level of separation between these two teams, the Eagles are definitely the big brother to the Commanders and the bigger brother to the Giants and the biggest brother to the Cal Bums. But speaking on all of this now, pivoting and I guess to our final topic. See that, guys? Chris and I, we keep it light. We keep it concise. No, I'm just, yeah. Somebody actually did that last night at the stadium. It was really funny to somebody in line. I'll tell you about that after the show. But getting into it. So I wanted to get into this first. You brought it up earlier. Jalen Carter played 100% of snaps last night. And last night, the Eagles defense was also ranked the number 1 defense in the NFL. Do you think that there's a lot of association with that, with Jalen Carter's growth this year and him really just putting pressure on a lot of these QBs?
I think it's incredible how not just him, but the defensive tackles as a whole. I see Jordan Davis get so much hate out there every single week. The guy was a monster last night defensively. And there's people who don't even realize he was out there playing. That, it's not just about pass rush. And that's where, they shine, because when you stop the run, it makes a team one-dimensional. When you make a team only be able to pass when it's a cold weather game like it was last night, it just destroys teams. And then you get their quarterback. They just wore them down in that game. And then Jaden Daniels throws that pick to Ed Reed Blankenship. It wears teams down. It's like on the other side of the ball that they can run the football, and they have Saquon Barkley. They just kept pounding. wasn't really having a great game. Then, 2 runs in a row, long touchdowns. They just have it on defense right now. They're making tackles when they need to. And besides a couple of really bullshit pass interference calls, they were just tremendous.
Yeah. I think that this defense has really leveled up. And it all starts, in my opinion, in the middle. Then it starts with the front. It starts with the front seven, I should say, actually, all those guys up front. Because when you're able to stop a team's run and you're able to also prevent the quarterback from getting to the outside, these mobile quarterbacks like they did last night, and you're able to game plan for that. Ever since week 4, the Eagles defense has been locked in. I'm talking butter, baby. I mean, they have been insane. One of the best defenses, if not, in my opinion, and now literally the best defense in the NFL. Their
That was one of the
secondary, I think, is really underrated too. Reed Blankenship is somebody that, I'm sorry, Dennis, I got to give credit. Look, I wanted to hate on Reed Blankenship as long as I could. I shouldn't even say wanted to hate because I love players on my team, but I was skeptical of Reed Blankenship for the longest time, just because he was an undrafted safety. Safety is a position that I valued for a long time, but I got to give my flowers to Reed Blankenship. He's totally earned my respect. I mean, he's defied all odds for this position, and he has such a nose for the football. The dude is a ball hawk. He's everything you want in a safety on and off the field. So I got to give my props to Reed and say to the Eagles, I mean, that's just another guy like Zach Bond. Extend him.
Mm-hmm. And hey, my thoughts on Vic Fangio. I thought it was a terrible hire, but this man's got them fucking playing well. I am wrong on Vic Fangio currently. We'll see what happens come playoff time, but I mean that was a really good offense going into this game too. Like they were damn near unstoppable, and they just shut them down. And I mean, what did Jaden Daniels have? Like maybe 25 yards rushing. Like I don't really remember him running at all in that game, and he's been like dominant. Let's see, what did he have rushing? He had
Last night he had 191 passing yards. I'm trying to see his rushing. He did
only
have an
18
81
yards
pass
rushing.
rating, which isn't good.
7 carries for 18 yards. That's incredible. That's incredible. They were able to hold him to that. And that's if you're able to make him throw. Not that he's bad passing the football, because he does have a good arm. But you make any rookie only be able to throw the football, it's going to be a very good night for you. And that's what they've been doing. It's straight and utter dominance right now. They gutted them. It was great.
And you just look at like their quarterback rating too. Jaden Daniels, the past 2 games, 68.5 against the Steelers with a 50% completion percentage. And last night against the Eagles, 68% with 1 TD and 1 interception, 81. So, I mean, even against the Giants, I mean, he was okay, but he still only completed 68% of his passes. 209 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Is elite.
Yeah. I'll take like 70, 75. I don't know.
Damn.
Like 50, 55 against the Bears. He did throw for 326. And I know in that game he had that 92.7 rating. And a lot of people, that was an exciting game. I get it. But I think it might have been you last night or Jack. I think it was actually Jack that said on the postgame show, he got exposed. He got exposed for the player that he was. And that's okay, Commanders fans, because look, there was a time when Jalen Hurts got exposed. All of our Commanders fans out there, look, it ain't over. Like, it's just the beginning. Because now he's got to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, I got exposed. What do I need to do to fix it? And to Eagles fans, get ready. Because he's going to go back to the drawing board. And that ain't our last time playing him this year. I mean, how are you feeling about the second game against the Commanders?
Ask me then. Because, I mean, right now, it looks like it can beat anybody in the NFL.
True.
But it as this team goes on, I mean, we saw what happened. They were 10-1 last year, and something happened. So this team feels different than it does last year. But I mean, they got they fell apart last year too. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen this year. But it's still the Philadelphia Eagles, and who knows? Like, it's weird because you can see like times where they start to regress to what they were at the very start of the season, but then they kick it into high gear and turn it around. Like the first couple drives in the game yesterday, I thought, oh shit, here we go again. So I hope there's no regression. I hope they're over that, but it's a long time to go before that Week 16 game, and who knows? The Eagles could have the division locked up by that point, in theory, because they're up a game and a half right now. Their schedule is pretty damn easy the rest of the year. The Commanders lose a couple games, it might not even be a game at that point.
Yeah, the Commanders, let me pull up some of they got the Cowboys, which I think with them coming off of 2 losses, that could be a closer game than people think. And Cooper Rush sometimes plays well, plays up against better teams. I don't know who they're going to play, but I could see that being a closer game. Titans, they should win. Saints, I could see it being a close game. The Eagles, again, that could be a loss for them. And then those last 2 games, Cowboys, again, I think could get them. If they're not, I think that they'll split with the Cowboys at the end of the year. And then the Falcons. Falcons are a better team than people are making them out to be. And I think that when they play the Falcons, it actually doesn't benefit them. They play them at the end of the year, Week 16, when teams are probably going to be playing for playoff stakes. So, we'll see how it goes for the Commandos. But last night, it would be great to say that the Eagles were basically what the 40 to the Commanders right now. This season, the Eagles are to the Commanders what the 49ers were to us last year, where they knocked us off our block.
We didn't beat them that bad.
We didn't beat them that bad, but they smoked us and they embarrassed us. And
maybe we did that to the Cowboys last week.
Maybe. That ship was sinking anyway, though, right?
You got the Titanic there.
Oh, it's over. It's over, Jack. It's over. But that's all we got for you guys this Saturday morning. I want to say, if you guys are new around here, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. That last one, please subscribe or follow whatever social media outlet you're on. That really makes a difference. And if you guys are ever at a tailgate, want to meet up with us, go check out some of our vlogs on our YouTube, doing interviews, follow us on Instagram, all that good stuff. Chris, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Fuck Josh Harris.
Hey, well said. Fuck Josh Harris. But hope you guys all have a great week. And I would say go Birds, but our business is already done for the week. So enjoy your stress-free Sunday.